Okay, Shar HaKudim Perik Dalet. Da, V'da, Ki Kasher Allah HaKeser El HaMatzia. You should know that when the Keser went into the Matzia, as Ba'osu Shir V'Hemshech Zman Shahaya Ola, at the same time that it was going in, as Keser was starting to go back up into the Peh, as a Malchus Nistankel Mimena B'chinas Yechida. Malchus at that point lost the B'china of Yechida. Shehi Ha'or Shunimshach Min HaKeser, which is the Or that Malchus received from Keser. When Keser came out of the Peh, Malchus already achieved Yechida. Since the Keser was going back up into the Peh, it did not have intention to shine, to radiate, to send Or into Malchus. This caused the Or of Malchus to be lacking the light of Keser, and the light of Keser was what gave it the Bechina of Yechida. So when Keser goes back into the Peh, it stops being there because it's turning up. Its intention is not now to be shining down, to be mirrored down. Its intention now is to go back into the Peh, to come into Shleimus. And when it does that, it doesn't shine down to Malchus in the same fashion. And then Malchus is lost, Malchus loses the Or Keser. It's very much comparable, with just a simple mashal, to a person who wants to shine, who wants to learn really, really well. So he learns a lot. At that time, he might not be teaching his talmidim so much, or might not be running out looking for talmidim. Whereas somebody else might, or at a different time, a person is not looking so much to come to personal shleimus. He's looking now to help and give over Torah. And at that time, a person would not be focusing on his own personal shleimus, and he would be giving over. When he is focusing on his own personal shleimus, so then just can't give over, can't do both at the same time often. This could be the case in many different things. When a person is looking for self-perfection, so he's not looking to specifically give over and spread whatever it is that he's involved in. However, even though the Or of Malchus lost the Or of Keser, it still had a Rishima Tzad, a small imprint of the Or of Malchus, the Or Yechida that was in Malchus. V'kasher Siyam HaKeser Lalos, V'siyam HaMalchus Lalos Ad Siyam HaYesod, and when Keser got into its proper place, and Malchus also got into its next stage up, which was going into the place of Yesod, as Chazar Keser Lahem B'Malchus Be'etzim K'mo B'Tchila. Then Keser continued to shine into Malchus Be'etzim properly as it was in the beginning, meaning Malchus now received Yechida again. B'chinas Yechida Shabbat, it received its B'chinas Yechida. So once, in the Mashal that I gave, once a person did come to Shleimus and got a much higher madriga in the Torah and the works of Hashem, so then he goes out and starts teaching again, or something like that. Often, in business, there are business partners that they need to take a break and to take training or whatever it is. Afterwards, they come back refreshed and a little bit stronger, and they're able to do their job at least the same. So here, Malchus Keser went back to this training to get proper shleimus, to get full shleimus, and went back into the Adam Gadol. And after it already reached a proper place there, so it was able to be mayor back to Malchus without a problem. Because after the Keser went into the Matzia, Kvar Haya Gam he also B'Yesod. Then Malchus, at that time, already went into Yesod. So Haisa Madriga Echas Kro B'Yesod HaMatzia was now one step closer to the Matzia. And was able to receive at this point what it originally received from the Keser. So here we see a little bit of a difficulty in the words. I'm not going to get so much caught up, but there seems to be different gifts here in the Otzros Chaim. where it seems to be a contradiction. Here he says that the Keser, as Chazar Keser L'Hayel Malchus, Kmo Be'etzem Kmo B'Tchila, that the Keser was mayor to Malchus, like it was in the beginning. And here it says that since now Malchus is closer to Matzio, he was able to receive, it was able to receive from the Adam Kadmon what it originally received from Keser. So who's now Malchus receiving the highest level it was receiving from Keser? The Yechido, who's getting from? Is he getting from Adam Kadmon, like it says over here, or is he getting from Keser? So it's a steer, it seems, in this Otzros Chaim. Here it brings the gears of the Eitz Chaim. My sefer, which by the way is a sefer of Rav Shisha, Otzros Chaim Lavur, has a nice impression on the bottom, and the Yunim, different nice things. So, if anyone has that version, it's Harvard Gimel. So here at this point, he's saying that he changes the Yirsa and takes out the word Kesem. And he says that he was Chazal Lahayer Bo Be'etzem Min HaMatzil, instead of from Keser, he says Min HaMatzil, which is talking about Adam Kadmon. And there is, I think maybe it's Rav Shisha, I don't know, but there is, I don't know who, I think this is Rav Shisha who tries to answer even our Girsa that seems to say steer, because here it says Keser, that Malchus receives the Or of Yechida from Keser, and here it says that Malchus receives the Or of Yechida from Adam Kadmon, and here Rav Shisha wants to say that maybe it's that maybe when it says Keser, that it was going to receive from Keser over here, that it really means Keser is referring to Adam Kadmon. That's what it seems Rav Shisha is saying. But again, the Gers of Eitz Chaim is that it did not receive from Keser. It received from, Malchus received, since it was now closer, one step closer to the Matzil, it received from the Matzil itself, from the Adam Kadmon himself. However, the whole time, the whole process, when Keser did not yet completely go into the Peh, then the Keser was mafsik, was stopping the connection to some extent from the Matzil to Malchus. And also the Keser was not Meirba, so Malchus was at that point stuck. It wasn't able to receive from Malchus, from Keser, and it was not because Keser was turning to face up, and it was not able to receive from Adam Kadmon because there was a break between Adam Kadmon and Malchus, and that break was Keser, who was not transferring the Or in a full fashion. So this stopped Malchus from receiving the Or of Keser for two reasons. These two reasons that we mentioned: one, that it can't receive from Keser because it's going up, and the other one is that it can't receive from Adam Kadmon since Adam Kadmon was being blocked from the Tzinos HaShefel. The way it would properly go down from Keser down to Chachma was not even starting to happen because Keser was faced up, was turning towards going up into the Peh. And similarly, also for Zerampin, the same process took place. The Bechinas HaYechida, when Keser went up, the Bechinas HaChaya, Zerampin gets Chaya, and the Bechina of Chaya from Keser, and when Zerampin goes up into the Peh, when Keser starts going up into the Peh, so Zerampin also loses the Bechina of Chaya at the same time. Shehem Makbil al Keser, because Chaya is related to Keser with regards to Zerampin. Meaning it's the Or that Zerampin received extra when Keser came out. And similarly with Chachma Bina and all the rest, meaning that every one of the spheres lost what they received when Keser came out. So Bina would have lost, Chachma would have lost, had Nefesh when it got into Keser, it got Ruach when Keser came out. So it would have lost Ruach, and Bina would have lost Neshama, Zerampin lost Chaya, and Malchus lost Yechida. This all took place as Keser started going up. Similarly, when the Chachma went up into the Matzil, when Chachma went up into the Matzil, then Nistalak min Malchus HaChelek Asher Haya Megia Alea, the Malchus lost also what it was receiving at that point from Chachma. Chachma was receiving Chaya. So Malchus would have lost Chaya. Malchus did lose Chaya when the Chachma started going back into the pen. And at this point again, all that was left was was an imprint of this or of Chaya. Until Chachma fully went back into Matzil, and then the Or came back, as we said before, that it received from Adam Kabbalah instead of from Chachma. Similarly, this we can compare to all the rest of the spheres, all the rest of the stages, and all the rest of the spheres. Chemical There are many things to discuss in this, obviously. But each time one of the ors go back, all the rest of the lower ors lose the aspect that it was receiving from the or that went back into the peh. And then once it took its place, it was able to receive that lost or again from Adam Kama, and also go to Sephes, since it got closer to Adam Kama. Chemical there are many, if you want to write all the numbers down, it's a lot, if you want to say out all the stages, it's a long process. There's another factor, which we didn't mention yet, is that even, and this is what makes it, it would seem to make it even more complicated, although we're going to summarize it pretty concisely in a moment. When the Chachma went into Keser, even when Chachma went into Keser, this also happened. When Chachma turned to go up to Keser, it did exactly the same that Keser was doing when it turned to go back into the Matzah. So when this happened, then Chachma also stopped to be mashpia its or to the lower spheres. And Malchus, for example, where it received Chaya from Chachma, it stopped receiving Chaya. Kshenigmar lalas beKeser, and when Chachma took its place back in Keser, as Chazar Orke V'Tchila, then it continued to shine down to Malchus as it did before. That's the Keshechazra Pam Shenis lalas beMatzil, and afterwards when it went back into the Peh again, the Stakor Pam Shenis, the Or left again. The Kshenigmar lalas Chazar Or Leisana, and then when all the Ors finished taking its final place, then they received Or again. They received their full Or. And the intelligent person will figure out all the rest of the differences. Similar with Makifim, they also would receive and lose their Makifim. The Zun get as they go up, they obviously lose their Makifim also. So basically, just to say out very simply, it would seem that as all those came out, they got certain madrigas, and every time they went up, every one of these ors would lose all the ors except for probably nefesh, because as they're going up, each one of the ors that give them the higher madriga, let's take Malchus for example, has nefesh from all the upper ors. So all the upper ors at this time, when Kesser goes back into the peh, all the other ors take one step up. As they're taking one step up, Malchus loses all its own, becomes totally blank, all has Rishim. Then, once everything goes back into place, and Kesser's back into the Matzah, and everything else took its place in front of in its place one step above. So then all the Ors came back to Malchus. Then everyone took one step up, and then as they were taking one step up, all the Ors lost pretty much everything except for Pashtus. They did not lose their nefesh, because the nefesh they had as they came out themselves. I don't see why they would lose their nefesh. And then when it went back, every single step, they would have lost all the ors. All the ors lost all the ors. When they took their final place, they got it back again plus one extra. And that's how it goes, like a flashlight almost, on, off. Every time they take a step, they turn off till they hit the proper place. Once they settle down in the proper place, they get back on, and then go back up. And when it's off, it's not that they don't have anything, they still have a Rishima, but Rishima is just an imprint, a very small amount of ors. So that's the process of the ors going back into the peh. Step by step, they going back, every time they step back, they lose pretty much all their ors, because each one is turning up instead of turning down. And when it turns up, it stops being metered down. And also it's mafsik between the matzil, so it stops from all the lower orders from receiving anything. Okay, so I'm saying instead of staying out every single step and every single sphere, it seems to be very straightforward that the simple principle to remember is that every time they were taking a step up, and it seems that they did it all at the same time. Everyone got it at the same time, moved up. That's what the base I think says. Pretty much says it's like a chain or a ladder where you lift one link and everything's attached and everything goes up. So it seemed that they all literally go up and take their place at the same time, pretty much. So what would happen is that all the Urs would go blank, and then all the Urs would come back when they take their place. And all the Urs would go blank as they go up, and then take their place when they get their Ur back as they take their place. That's basically a summary of what, of what we said, speaking out all the different aspects.